Okay, so today is the return of the quarantine grind. Haven't done one of these in a while, and the reason is we had a new series start, which is Punt or No Punt, which I got a couple of episodes out for, and I didn't want to overwhelm with content. And then we did another video which I wanted to make separately from this because I wanted to change the focus of the quarantine grind. The episode that I recently released, which was How to Crush 10NL on 4 tables, that I want to make more like a coaching kind of play and explain kind of thing, which I don't really want the quarantine grind to be. So what I'm going to try, if my skills set will allow it, is to edit the quarantine grind stream recording that I make and just put in, you know, the hands that might seem interesting, maybe try and get it down to like 20 minutes and just put in like the big pots, so it's more like an entertaining series, and then keep the other obviously Punt or No Punt involved as well, and also make some play and explain videos that are separate from the quarantine grind. I hope that makes sense. But I just want to say thanks for 150 subscribers. No idea where those are coming from, but thank you very much for watching and subscribing and liking. Thanks for everyone interacting with me by email or on the YouTube comments. I really appreciate all the feedback, and most of it seems positive, so I'm very thankful for that. So let's crack on and see if this video works out as I intend it to. 8-9 of clubs we will open, and the aces we will also open. I think 8-9 of clubs is good enough to 3-bet. We'll open up the 10-8 and we will 3-bet also with the aces. Aces we get a call into the king 6 deuce. Pretty good board for us in general. We're going to start small all the time. It's hard for him to have a king given that we have aces, but that's fine. May consider trapping here with the ace of spades, but without, we're going to call, and he did call quite quickly, so I don't expect him to have too much. Let's just size this correctly. I don't expect him to have too much spade stuff going on when he snap calls, at least to consider check raising, I would have thought. Sorry, raising. Start with a c-bet with the gut shot and a backdoor flush draw on the top right. And we get that through. One advantage is that I do get to have coffee in the middle of recording when there's no hands going on. So I have to speak the whole time. There's the coffee. Calling the big blind with the ace-8 off and flop top pair. Gonna go ahead and check raise. Sorry, not check raise, but just raise. And on queen 5 deuce, queen 5 3, we're gonna c-bet. We get raised with the ace-8, which I'm not in love with. You can certainly have some draws, but if he has like an overpair, he would do this. I do block sets and stuff, which is interesting. Not sure what to do here. I'm gonna check my showdown with my 9s, which is great. Not sure what to do here. I'm tempted to go all in, but I really would like more time here. I'm going to fold as an exploit, but I have a feeling I'm supposed to go all in there. Obviously, he has a distinct overpair advantage, but I do have like sets and 2 pairs and stuff, so I guess given that I do have sets and 2 pairs, then I can fold this exploitatively, but this is probably one that I'm not going to be in love with. Defend my big with ace-6 of clubs, and we see a board that's not going to usually be very good for me, so I don't want to be check raising. Turns a gut shot as well. So we have a decision here whether we want to check raise or go for value. I think we're going to go for value because he snap check back the turn, and he might snap check back with a medium strength hand on the river. Hopefully I get raised. I don't think I will though, based on that read. Good result there. I can't decide. Yeah, I think I'm probably just going to raise, get it in. Seems fine. This guy raises himself. Interesting spot now. I'm going to 3-bet the jacks. I am going to call. Limp jam. Oh, 40. Limp jam. Going to call. Damn it. That's annoying. I think that I can't fold to the guy's isolate, and I can't. The guy could be. I've got him pinged, so I think I just have to call, unfortunately. I can certainly see him turning up with far worse there. 9-7 seems good enough to open to me. Get led into, and I think we have a float against this guy. He checks. I think we're going to have to bet, even though I'm not in love with it. We should have 9 high. It's like the absolute worst hand we can possibly have here. I literally don't have any worse hands than this. If he calls, we can just give up river. Interesting. He's going to go ahead and fold, which is lovely. We love to see that. Defending my big blind with 10-9. Opening up my 10s. And folding the 10-9 and opening up my king 4. King 3-bet. And against this size, we are going all in. Get called by 8s, which is good. We hope to win. That's a good turn. That's a good river. So we won one close one like that and lost one. Pocket kings under the gun we're going to open, along with the jack 9 of spades. I'm going to fold our jack 9 of spades. Get called from a probable fish and a call from the button. I think we can start slightly bigger because this is going to be a board where fish is going to want to call with anything that he connects the board with, and this guy will probably connect with the board at least somewhat. A 9 on the turn is certainly somewhat significant. I do want to bet again, but if I get raised here, then probably have a side fold. I do want to see a fold from somebody, so it's less likely that somebody has a 9. That's good, and I think against this particular guy, we are going to have to go for the rest and hope for the best. That's good that we didn't get called yet. That is bad that we ended up getting called. But I think we were probably going to get called no matter how long it took him to call. But I do think that this is okay. Obviously, this is a very unfortunate run out. I think we're just against this guy who he didn't even 3-bet pre, so I wasn't even thinking about jacks. I thought he could have had a 9, but there's just absolutely no way that I can bear not putting it in on the river against this particular dude. Can certainly have just a bare jack that he would call with. He can have a 9. He shouldn't be able to have jacks, but apparently he can. So that's just one of those things. There's absolutely nothing that I think I could do differently. We opened up the Queen 9 of diamonds and flopped half decently. There we get fold. King 10's a good open, and as is Ace King. Loads of short stacks today. Very interesting amount of short stacks. Get 3-bet, and this is going in. Good luck us. Queen will do as well, or a club. That's not any of those. Unfortunate. Flopping gut shot straight flush draw. We're going to bet. And against the raise, we could 3-bet or we could call. I think with a lower flush draw, we should call. Now we have a double gut shot. Do I have fold equity? This guy seems to be betting quickly and aggressively. I am going to call again. I could certainly just go all in here. But I don't want to get jammed on and have to call off with 5 high, 6 high. I think that raising here is good, but the sizing is a bit awkward. We do make our straight. And when he checks, I think that he's not going to have a straight himself. But he certainly could have like a set, and for sure he could have a set like 7s or something. So I unblock like all the good parts of his range, and I have spades too, so it's less likely that he has spades. So we're going for all of it, and he does have a set of 7s, so we read that quite well in terms of our sizing. I'm gonna c-bet this flop with the backdoors, and 3-bet the ace queen. Turn to more equity, so I think we're going to have to go for another bet. And I prefer overbetting. Going to have a fold here now with the ace queen. It's hard for us to have bluffs here when we're going to have clubs as well that get there. We're going to want to overbet those. So with 5 high, seems like a very good candidate. We can fold this turn. Ace king is an open on the small blind, if you did not know. Getting 3-bet, we're going for the 4-bet, get it in. Gonna fold. Pretty trash. We are not folding, sir. Wow. What the fuck? Oh, please don't do this to me. This would actually upset me, I think. Yeah. What the fuck? Some absolute hero just give me $10. Thank you, friend. Much appreciated. And some good content as well. Appreciate that very much. What the fuck? I've never been 5-bet jammed on with Jack Deuce before. I can assure you I have a lot of hands at this stake, and that is the first time I've ever seen that. But I appreciate the heart and the commitment to the game. Always. Fuck me. Brilliant. Usually when someone like jams on your 4-bet, you're like sigh, aces or kings. Obviously we block those, and you can easily have queens and maybe jacks. But that is the most heroic jam I've ever seen. At 10 and L, I don't think you're going to be winning money there, buddy. 3-bet in the ace-5. And we'll be doing the same with the pocket kings in the top left. Would have preferred to get a raise from the purple, but we will take what we can get. Gonna make this 11. Decent flop. Start the check with the ace-5 and start with a small bet with the kings. Turns not my favourite, but I at least think we would at least had a consideration for a raise with 8-9 if he had it. We're going to keep betting. And against the 10, we have actually a situation here on the bottom left as well, which we now can't fold turn. Against this guy, we're going to check call river. We could probably have jammed, but he certainly has some 10s in his range. If he had a jack, I'm disappointed. He actually had ace queen, so yeah. Against those kind of floats where he picks up equity on the turn, we're certainly doing better by checking. Calling turn here with the ace-5. And we chop, which I think was best case scenario. I do not like his play at all. I really don't think turn you get called by much that you're beating, is my thoughts. But if he had gotten me to fold a weaker ace, then that would have been pretty cool. Sorry, a chop, like off a chop, then I would have been, you know, I'm not sure exactly that he's good enough to be thinking in that sort of direction, but I don't like the line, is my overall thought. We 3-bet with the ace queen offsuit here, hoping for a couple of folds. We do get a call from initial. We do get a call from the person that called the raise to begin with, and we flop quite well, and we're going to start small. And we get a fold, which we don't mind. Seems... Ace king we 3-bet, and we saw king 10-6, which we are going to bet small on with our whole range. Opponent calls. We see a queen, which I would believe is one of the worst cards in the deck, if not the worst card. So we're going to check. Seems fine. And then on the river, after he snap checks back, we are going to value bet. I think at least he would consider with a straight or 2-pair to value bet. Sorry, to at least, yeah, try and bet the turn. So I think we're going to have a bet here, and maybe smaller because I don't want to get jammed on. I have to fold, but I certainly need to go for value against like King Jack, which is really, really tight, the kind of range of hands that I'm trying to get value from here. So I might even prefer to just go for a check in hindsight, because King Jack is a pretty narrow range of hands that I'm trying to get called by. He might have had like a queen. King Queen's going to be a raise. In position. Fold the King Queen on the small blind though. Open up my Ace Jack. Get called and flop King with a backdoor. We are going to be c-betting our whole range on both the boards up top for small sizings. Don't expect to get check raised here. It's way too good for me, this board. I do think that we can check back here for balance. Sometimes I don't really want to see an ace, so maybe it's better to check back the river and check back this turn with something else. But he could certainly have King Jack. I'm considering checking. I think I'm going to check. Seems like a pretty good card. Going to bet again on this turn. And we have a clear call on this river. Wow. You could even raise that river, but like his sizing is really his sizing is really value-y, from what I know. Damn. I would go as far as to say that's a pretty good river for him. I'm going to give up with the ace. The ace queen. Ace jack, sorry. Didn't seem like that guy had any interest in folding. He's going to have a king or a queen 100% of the time, but he calls that turn bet pretty much. I'm going to value bet this river with 10-8. We raised a limp on the right, and we flopped a pair, which we're going to c-bet with our whole range. Betting again against the fish. He can certainly have a better ace here because they just have really weird ranges and lines that make no sense. But we are going to give him our money. Do I want to try to get all of it? I don't think that that's a good idea. I think he's going to like pay off small bets here. And maybe not so much all of his stack. Yeah. Because I think some fish like to... If they're calling and they get to keep some chips, then they really enjoy that. So we raised... Oh, goodness. Okay. 3-betting... Let's get this straight. 3-betting ace queen. We 3-bet and saw this flop with on the left. And we're going top left and we're going to c-bet that. And we're just going to call with the queens. Very bad flop for ace queen. We're going to check fold. On this turn, we have showdown value, and I don't think I want to turn my 10 into sort of like a bluffing hand. So I'm going to check, which means I can have some flushes on the river. And when he bets, I think we have a fold, unfortunately. We had some pretty good situations developing here, and that have all turned into all turned into losing situations. I think we have to fold. Could bet the turn here, but I like to have some flushes when I check back, which means he might bluff on like a flush card. I think we can just fold here. Yeah. Opponent overbets this turn. He's basically telling me he has... I mean, what... He 3-bet pre. I mean, he has a set quite a lot here. He's not going to do this with aces for sure, no. I think we have a fold. Just price us out of this call, I think. I'm going to play a pot. Flopping a gut shot. And flopping a straight with queen 9. Turning an open-end straight draw. And he bets again. I think our value is not going to come from like crazed bluffing. I think we're going to try and call and see a straight. This guy called twice very quickly. Yeah, that play top right, we're just playing that way only against that guy because we don't think he's going to fold like much stuff. I'm going to bet this river, but I'm going to bet sizing for a king. I think you get a lot of quick calls from people that don't want to fold. Oh, he did have aces, so maybe we could have got more. But I think he's going to have like a king that is going to have a real tough time calling large bets, and we don't really want to bet large anyway with our hand. And against an all-in, we're going to have a call. And we hope to win this flip. C-bet bottom left, give up pot top left. Looks like we may win top right. We do, which is great. Yeah. Loads of like short stackers just jamming on us today, so pretty okay with that kind of spot. We managed to win a chest as well, which is a very good achievement for someone who has to get like 1,000,000 points to get a chest. Out of position against this guy who I'm very deep. I'm just going to tack on an extra big blind, and I'm going to 3-bet also with the 5-6. Defend my 7-4 and check raise. Continue with the small sizing with my whole range on bottom left. Get the 5-6 through, which we enjoy. Check raising my 7-4. This guy shouldn't have too many 8s. He also shouldn't have aces. So we're going to bet again. We could maybe size higher here. But against like queens and jacks, considering we block aces and like king queen and stuff, he's going to have a hard time to call larger bets. So I think smaller bet is just fine. Open up the ace jack and the pocket 7s. Call it a ridiculous raise with the ace jack. Not loving life. Still not loving life. Getting potted on, hating life, but not folding. Would have preferred a jack on the turn. If he pots again, we fold. I just don't care about this hand at all. I'm just not interested. I just know that line is going to be pot. I can't fold flop, but I can certainly fold turn because I can have better hands. I can have 8s. I can have ace-8 suited. I can have not ace-king, but I can have ace-queen for sure. Checking back with the 10s. And now I can call this bet and reevaluate the river. Decalling a big blind so you can have stuff like 6-7 for sure. Ace deuce. Taking my showdown here. Oh. Chop is okay. We can certainly call here. And an easy call with ace queen. Checking back our 10. Not winning. Starting with the call top left. See a diamond, which is very nice. And we're going to call again in position. Would have preferred a diamond, but whatever. Sigh. Kings, aces. He doesn't have tens. I think we're going to have to call here. I'm blocking the clubs. Yeah. He was not really representing many good hands, and he could also have had ace queen, so we can't fold. Kings and aces for sure he has, but I do block aces. Kings I don't block, and I'm going to hit kings there like loads, but that's fine. And I like my line as a call because he puts him in really tough spots when he's bluffing. We called here with the ace king. Sorry, we 3-bet with the ace king and got a call. This is pretty much like a... I'm not going to c-bet this ball with 100% frequency, and this is one of the hands I'm going to take as a check. This turn seems like a card that if I get raised on, I'm not going to enjoy life very much. So I'm going to check again. That's a very, very good river, and we're going to go for some value. Checking back against a big blind range on 965 seems good. With the ace king, we now have a bet. And we're going to bet like on the smaller side because he's going to have a hard time calling when he show no interest in putting money in the pot. Trying to get my ace jack to showdown. Huh. Well then, what do we have here? He called a 3-bet and then checked back on flop and turn. No way he checks back flop with pocket tens. No way he checks back flop with pocket nines, pocket queens. Surely not. I'm gonna call. I'm just gonna call. I'm gonna have to call. If he's checked back twice with queens or tens, that's just disgusting. I don't really see how you can possibly do that. I'm gonna call here, boys. Am I gonna call here? Yeah, I'm gonna call. Yeah. He's used his ace as a bluff. Let's just talk about this hand, and I just basically spent my analysis just saying, I'm going to call here, boys, instead of actually saying why I'm calling. I'm calling because how the fuck do we lose to a range that checks back after calling a 3-bet, checks back twice? He's basically telling me he has a house with this bet. How the hell do you have a house? Do you know what I mean? Like, queens, nines, queens, tens, no way, man, do you check back twice. Queen 9, even if you somehow had Queen 9, you just cannot. So, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy, but you don't rep enough there. 4-betting, I think here. What's going on? Yeah, 4-betting. And stacking off to aces. Taking my showdown with my ace 10. Call. Hold. Hold. Hold! Yeah! Let's go. That was a good hold. For one time we didn't see aces. That's good. 10 and L is always a... You never really... I can't wait to be at a stake where I can be delighted to have that hand there. This is not that stake. Although, I'm still pretty happy to get it in, obviously. Open up my queens and the kings. And I think we're going to call the session here soon because we have enough. I think this is pretty ridiculously interesting. And in terms of amount of hands that we've had, this is going to make up for a really good video. Hopefully. Open up the queens. Defend my 5-4 in a multi-way. Pretty good flop for 5-4 of spades. We're going to start sitting out here. Pocket queens against the small blinds is pretty much the same spot as last hand, except we have queens instead of kings. And this is going to make this 28. And 3-bet here. He called very quickly, very concerned about him having jacks. Queens and kings are another huge part of his range. I don't really want to see bet here. Against ace king, I think we need to bet small. He could certainly be checking another like nines and jacks here, but we're going to have to bet. Do I want to bet small? I want to bet smallish. He calls very quickly and we see a 7 of hearts. Is he jamming? Okay, no. So a hand that calls, I don't think we can get value here. I really don't. We could jam, but like he can have kings. He can have aces, trapped aces and kings. He can have jacks that's trapped. What are we really looking to get value here from? Ace jack? I really think this is way too loose. I'm going to check. And I don't think he would have, like, tens he can certainly have, but I don't think he would have called our river bet. So it makes the river bet makes much less sense. I just think that Jack 9X is like, when he calls a 4-bet, it's just a really bad board. If he's slow playing aces and kings, we don't win. If he's called with jacks and nines, we're dead, and he could be trapping with that. And also, if he has pocket tens, then we're not getting value from that on the river anyway. We'll obviously block some flushes, but I mean, he called the turn, which means that he could have. I mean, it's unlikely he even has ace king. The only hand I can see us getting value from here is tens. I just think this is way too loose to shove. Way too loose for those reasons. Anyway, we're done. Wow, what a session. It looks like we made money. I haven't looked. It looks like we made some money. But we did lose some pots at the start. But yeah, this is going to be... I'm just going to see what... Let's have a look. We can bring up our stats for this. Yeah, so... We managed to win some money. $36, so 3.5 binds, which is really nice. And we're going to look at some of these hands, not now, but later. I'm going to have a look at these, show bean or something. But yeah, wow. Some really interesting spots. We ran quite well, for sure, we ran well. And we got absolutely given some money as well in some spots. One particularly phenomenal spot. So, yeah, we're pretty happy with how we played. And again, if anyone wants to get hold of me, Easty22 3Ys on Twitter, Easty22poker@gmail.com with 3Ys for the email. I've had people emailing me already, which is great, and sorting a few things out with those guys. Just appreciate knowing what you guys think. Talk to me about the spots. Let me know what you think about this new format, because it's going to be, like I said, highlights. It's going to take me a little bit of time to edit, but it's going to be a highlights base, so please tell me how you feel about that. I have a feeling it's going to be like quite entertaining, and people might prefer it, so please do tell me what you think. But for now, that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.